friends, happy spring! It is finally time to talk about my spring TBR. The weather is getting warm outside, the grass is finally green, so let's get into it. The books I'm going for this season are kind of like fairy, magical forest, anything that's very magical and whimsical. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So let's just get into it and start off with the first book. The first book on my list is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I keep calling it Tress and the Starless Sea because I'm just morphing the names of those two books together. And this just recently came out. This was one of 3 secret projects that Brandon Sanderson was doing. And this one, first off, let's just look at the end pages. And this is just the standard edition from Barnes & Noble. If that doesn't scream springtime, I don't know what does. So this is about a girl named Tress who lives and collects cups that she gets from seafaring people. And her friend Charlie goes to be betrothed, and something mysterious happens, so she must leave her little island that she's been on forever and make her own way, essentially. So I think this sounds I've heard a lot of good things about it, and for one, but I just think I love the idea of a girl who collects cups and teacups and stuff like that. That is so just whimsical to me, and I love the concept of this. So Brandon Sanderson writes such unique stories, in my opinion. You know an author is good when they can write a 1,200-page story and you don't feel bored or slow throughout the whole entire thing. And that's how I feel with his the Stormlight Archive series. So I'm really excited to check this book out. And it's just a beautiful emerald green, the actual hardback. It has such pretty artwork on the inside. There's more artwork throughout. I just think that this is very pretty, and I'm super excited to read this, especially the story of him getting this published and Kickstarter and all of that. Check it out. It's really interesting and very unique because I don't think most authors really put that much effort into doing what they feel is right to publish their books. So I think that is great. Moving on to my next book. This is Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell. This is another newer release, and this is about a girl named Clara, and her father becomes poisoned, pretty much, by these poisonous flowers that she creates, and she must team up with her old friend, who seems like he's just not that great anymore, and they team up to essentially heal her father. At least that's the goal, it sounds like. But this, I've heard, is very Studio Ghibli-esque. I've heard a couple people describe the story as that, and if I hear Studio Ghibli referenced with anything, I'm gonna pick it up. Right now on my TV, what I was watching before this was literally The Secret Life of Arrietty, I think, or something like that. Arrietty. That is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. I just call it Arrietty, so I can never remember the full name of it. But look how cute and springy this book is. And she has flower magic. That is obviously so springy. And I've heard this is just a cozy, nice read. I know there is obviously stuff going on, just to save someone, but I've heard it's a very nice springtime book. So, oh, I'm gonna shuffle around. I have my stack here in front of me, but I'm gonna shuffle and go to something different. Maybe try to do this in somewhat of an organized order. The next book I have on this is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. I've been wanting to read this one forever. So this is a continuation of the Cruel Prince series, but it is different characters. So this one's the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I think the normal one's white or something like that, I think, on the dust jacket. But this is following Jude's younger brother Oak and some other characters from the Cruel Prince series. And, anything Cruel Prince, I've got to read it. I love the Cruel Prince, and I think the Cruel Prince is such a Holly Black writes such fun and beautiful whimsical stories, so I'm very excited to read this. And again, I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I don't know if I would assume yes, you would probably have to read the Cruel Prince series before this just to like understand the characters, because these are characters that have grown up in The Cruel Prince, so I think that it would be important to read the Cruel Prince series first, which also a very good spring pickup. It is so cute. And good romance. Such good romance. And it's really not cute, it's just like the places that are described are like so beautiful, and those are cute. So the next book I have on my list is The Buried and the Bound, and this is by Rochelle Hassan, and this is my Owl Crate edition, I think. Yes, I think. I mean, it doesn't have sprayed edges, so I'm going to make the assumption that this is, yeah, totally Owl Crate. So this is the Owl Crate edition. I'm not sure what the original one looks like, but this is a story about a girl who is a witch, and she is the only witch in her little town she lives in. So she deals with little fae ordeals, but nothing too crazy, and all of a sudden some dark, mysterious power arises, and she must team up with a boy who is cursed, and they make a deal that she will help lift his curse if he will help fight the dark evil. And then it starts coming after them. So I think there's got to be some romance. They're teaming up together. There has to be. So I'm assuming there's going to be some romance in this. But I just love like the story. Like, she's a hedge witch. Like, I think that's so cute. A hedge witch, and like they do fae dealings and stuff like that. And she's, I don't know, I just love anything with the fae. That just screams springtime to me. If I hadn't already read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairy, I would literally add this to this list too, because 10 out of 10, best fae story ever. So next, so those are all like my, I don't even know, I have two more that are fantasy-esque, but I feel like those are my biggest like fantasy selection that I have in here. And this one that I have next is called Shady Hollow, a murder. The wind is whistling outside. This is a murder mystery, Shady Hollow by Juno Black, and this is about I think she's a fox, and in her little town, I believe it's Shady Hollow, there is a toad that was killed or died, and she believes that it is actually a murder. So she is investigating the murder of the toad. So this is like a little town of woodland creatures, and they're solving a murder mystery. If, you know, that just screams cute, whimsical springtime. I just love I don't even know, I've never even heard of this book until I saw it at Half Price Books, but I just love the whole idea that it's like in the woods and they're animals. I just think that's so cute, and it's like an adult book. Like, this isn't a children's book or anything. At least I don't think. Wouldn't that be funny if this was literally a children's book? But no, I believe that this is a adult book, and I think that it's like co-written, so I think there's two authors. I could be wrong, but I'm almost 100% positive there's two authors to this book. But I'm excited for that one. I think it's fun. I've had it for so long and I just haven't picked it up yet. But the next book, the same thing. I've had it for a long time, haven't read it yet, and this is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, and she wrote one of my favorite books, which is The Once and Future Witches, and this is a story about, I think her name is January. Yes, her name is January, and she is living in this estate, wealthy estate, where I think she's like living life. She's kind of ignored, bored, all of the above, and she is, let's see, she finds a strange book, and it looks like she goes into this book and experiences the story. So it says on the back, for the first time, January realizes she can escape her story and sneak into someone else's. So I think that just sounds so fun. It also has like the uneven edges. What's that called? Like knurled edging or something like that. I could be totally wrong on what that's actually called. But it just, I love the feel of like where it feels vintage almost, and it's such like a soft matte, and it's beautiful. But I love stories like this where like they kind of like fall into the stories or go into other people's stories, so I think that this will be really fun. And I just really love Alexi Haro, and I just don't think I could read something by her that I don't like. So, the next category I have is classics. Yes, I have 2 classics on this list as well. The first one being Wuthering Heights. So this is a story of love and love scorned, and I think classics, I'm so bad at explaining them, but this is Bella Swan's favorite book. So of course it has to be on the list because I love Bella Swan. And I've been wanting to read Wuthering Heights for a really long time, and I just think that this would be a really good time to read it because I think classics and springtime just go really well together, just like classics and fall. I feel like those are the 2 best seasons to read a good classic, so I like this. And I think it's pretty much about a man who falls in love with a woman who is far above his station, and he gets pretty spiteful about it. So, the next story I have is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And this is, again, another classic. And this is about an orphan who goes to live at her uncle's estate. And at the estate, she finds a secret garden, and she teams up with some unexpected friends to try to unlock the garden. And this estate she's at is huge, like hundreds of rooms, so she is doing lots of exploring. And I'm pretty sure this is actually a children's book, so this is very old. It is a classic. This is my Owl Crate edition because they did paperback classics. I think they're still doing it in their boxes every once in a while. So this, I think, just sounds very springy, like a garden and everything like that. Like, that's where I want to be. Like, I want to sit in a beautiful blooming garden reading The Secret Garden. And I think because it is, I think, marketed as a children's book, it should be an easier classic to read because I know that classics can sometimes be a little difficult. So I'm hoping that that makes it a little bit easier. So that is all of my books that are on my This is not my April TBR, my spring TBR. And I'm really hoping, I'm like bad at TBRs, so I'm really hoping I can actually accomplish this TBR and read at least half of these books within springtime. And we'll see, you know. I don't want to hold myself to too high of expectations, which is why I didn't make this list too long, because I wanted to be confident I could actually at least somewhat accomplish it. So that's everything. Happy spring. Let me know what spring books you guys are picking up so I can add them to my list and probably read them before the books I actually picked out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!